Hi, it's Mr. Tush, and we are going to go over one of the answers for the homework due on January 29th, particularly the one about which of the following statements is true when we talk about algorithms and all possible inputs. Most of you got this wrong. Most of the people who did this got it wrong. So let's take a look at why. The key phrase, if you look at this, and this is a test strategy thing, is you see that they keep repeating the words for all possible inputs, for all possible inputs, for all possible inputs, for all possible inputs. If you look at that phrase, that's what's really driving the bus on this. Now, if you look at D, D is the correct answer. It says some problems, such as determining if any program will eventually stop, cannot be solved by an algorithm. So it's saying there are some problems that cannot be solved by an algorithm for all possible inputs, meaning every possible input you could ever imagine. So they're saying there are limits. If that's the premise, then let's look at why the other three are untrue. And this is going to be important because you're going to get variations on this question in the exam. This one says, A says, every problem can be solved in a reasonable amount of time using a modern computer. That's saying the technology is up to speed. Well, it's saying the technology will never be completely up to speed. Then B says every problem can be solved with an algorithm for all possible inputs, but some will take more than 100 years. That's an arbitrary term, and they're saying it just might take a long time. But if we know that there are problems that some algorithms will never solve, then 100 years doesn't matter because there are some algorithms that won't solve all possible inputs. Then we go down here to C. Every problem can be solved with an algorithm for all, but some of these algorithms have not been discovered yet. That one, if I did answered this incorrectly, I would have answered C. So I would have agreed with the two people here because I like the Star Trekness of it that human potential says we will figure out computer-wise how to solve all of our problems. But what we're talking about is a real tenet of computing. The tenet of computing is that humanity will continue to create problems and complex puzzles and thought, and our technology will never quite get to the point where we can solve all possible inputs. I think that we may develop technology that may exceed our ability to create problems for it, but I don't think that theoretically computers will be able to solve, the algorithms will be able to solve problems based on all possible inputs. I know that's a bit of a roundabout philosophical thing, but that's why this one's tricky. Just remember that going into the exam, because I'm going to be willing to bet you're going to get variations on this. Thanks.